All right, so what's up? Welcome to Beyond the Hardwood with Coach Nay. I'm here at Princeton High School, sitting here with Coach Dee Davis. How you doing, Coach?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yes, yes. So for the people that don't know you in Cincinnati, give us a little story about yourself.
All right. Well, I came up through Princeton. I came down here from Indianapolis, Indiana, and started seventh grade, the middle school at Princeton. Matriculated through the program. Went through senior year. I was the first McDonald's All-American from here, and went on to play college basketball at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee, in the SEC, and did some great things while being there. Fortunately, I was I was drafted into the WNBA to play with the Houston Comets in 2007. Played overseas for a season, played with two other WNBA teams as well. So just had a nice run of the game. You know, it's paid me dividends as far as being able to give back to the game and understand a lot. Met a lot of people along the way. The journey has been amazing. Transitioned into a coaching position. I coached a head coaching position in Tennessee for 10 years. At that point, I felt it was necessary for me to take that step up and go into the college ranks. And from there, I was with 3 different college teams as far as being a director of basketball operations. And I still had that itch and desire to get back on the floor. So coaching has just been something that's been embedded in me. So when the opportunity presented itself here at Princeton, and it just only made sense to go ahead and come back, it was the ultimate give back. And, to be able to come in where it all started for me just was a full circle situation.
Mm-hmm. So let's rewind a little bit. You played in the WNBA overseas. Give the girls some nuggets of how hard it is to get to that level and what they need to do to get to that level if that's their goal.
You got to outwork everybody. There's thousands of players that are in your position that want to go where you're trying to go, but you got to figure out what sets you apart from all those other players. Because players come a dime a dozen, but the special ones figure it out and how to get it done. And it's on the court, it's in the classroom, it's in the community. It's just being an all-around good person. Talent is everything, but what you do with that talent will really depict who you are as a person and an individual. So the grind, it never stops. You can't do the typical things that most kids and teenagers get to do. If you have a goal and you're really focused and you're motivated, you're gonna make those decisions to make sure that it's paying you what you're doing. You gotta make sure you're in the gym, you gotta make sure you're in the classes and getting those right grades, understanding who you need to surround yourself with, because energy is everything. And just making good choices at the end of the day, because there's so many players out there, but only so few spots in every regard. So who are you and how are you gonna help a program? So all of those things are very imperative and trying to get to the next level. There were 39 people that got drafted in the 2007 WNBA draft. 3 rounds, 13 picks. I was one of those 39, and that's a blessing. But everybody doesn't have that same story. So understand what's gonna help take you to that next level, and it's that grit, and it's that willingness to do everything necessary to get it done.
Mm-hmm. So let's jump on the opposite side of that. For the girls that think making it to the WNBA overseas is the all-in, let them know that if you don't make it to the WNBA, you don't make it overseas, it's okay. Like, there's other things outside of basketball that you can do that you can give back to the game. Absolutely. Talk to those young ladies.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, the ball always stops dribbling at some point. There's an expiration tag on the game as far as you being a player. Opportunities sometimes don't continue, so you have to pivot and understand what other value do you have, what other passions do you have, because the biggest thing you want to do is live in your purpose. Where do you feel most fulfilled? Is it giving back? Is it mentoring? Is it coaching? You do a lot of different things in this community and in this world that can be a positive thing, So WNBA and overseas is not a reality for a lot of people. So getting your education, getting those college degrees, finding out what that career path looks like for you, those are things that are very vital. Those are things that are very important because they're going to pay your bills at the end of the day. It's going to help create a lifestyle for you. And at the end of the day, even players like myself who've gone on to those different levels, when it came down to that reality and that moment where this is the end, like, where do I go now? You don't want to get to that point where you don't have a plan of what's next. And, so I would just say, make sure you just stay grounded, continue to grind. Even if you don't go on to those levels, the work ethic that you put into it, the life lessons that you learned along the way, that journey will help you in any day-to-day life.
So let's talk about that journey. So with Princeton being one of the hottest commodities in the city as far as hiring another head coach, what you think made you the head runner to get the position?
It's home. It's home. I feel that, what I've done in this game, the reputation that I have within the game of basketball, spoke volumes to the community and to the program. Regretfully, I wasn't as present in the last several years as I would have liked to be. But when I did get opportunities to come back, I did. To mentor other players, I had written a book that I wanted to be able to promote to these young ladies that want to have, that have aspirations of playing at the next level, learn how to navigate that process. So when it came down to it, for me, I feel that the school saw value in the fact that I'm someone who came through this program, someone that is hungry to develop talent and to coach at a high level, that can be a game changer for this program.
So let's rewind, because you kind of went to my next question about the book. So how did it come about you writing a book? Give us the name of the book, where they can purchase the book at, things of that nature.
Perfect. The book is called Player's Guide to College Hoops, and it's a navigational tool throughout the recruitment process, and it can be found on every search engine online, Amazon, etc. But the motivation behind writing the book was because I had been a trainer, I had been a coach, and I've seen countless amount of talented players go on to the next level that got opportunities, but then ended up transferring or giving up the game that they loved. And it was heartbreaking for me because I was fortunate enough to have good mentors in my life that helped me think about the process and weigh the pros and cons and understand from a more mature thought process on how to make a decision towards my future. And so I wanted to be able to give back in that sense, where I was giving some straightforward information about what that looks like at the next level and how you get there and how you stay there, and finding what's right for you, creating your non-negotiables, things of that nature, understanding the process, because there's going to be a lot of schools that may want those players, but those schools may not be a good fit for those players. So understanding that and figuring that part out was something that I was very passionate about doing. So these young ladies and young men have an opportunity to have a mentor in a black and white setting in a book.
Okay, that's what's up. So make sure y'all go check out that book. So let me ask you this question. What and who is your why? Like, why do you do this?
Okay, my initial why was my mother. I knew I had a talent, I knew I had a gift, and from my focus level, I had to perform at a different level. I had to do things differently. Working out before school, working out after school, going hard, playing at every gym that I could to get better, to develop my game, because I was determined to make sure that my mother didn't have to pay my college tuition. My mom was a single mom with 2 teenagers that moved to a whole total different state, and I wanted to do my part. And so she had been my motivation and my why. But then also the young ladies and other players that didn't get those opportunities that I did, I was doing it for them as well, because I was aware of the fact that not everybody got those opportunities, and I had to not take it for granted. It was a privilege and an honor to be able to play at the next level and also play the game that I loved. I was able to play basketball and get paid for it. Like, that's a dream. One day I was in the gym shooting in practice, after practice one day with the Seattle Storm, and a security guard walked in the gym. He said, "Man, I just envy you." I said, "Why is that?" He said, "Because you're shooting free throws right now and you're getting paid for it." And I never thought of it like that, because I've never considered it to be a job. It was something that I loved. So that also put things in perspective for me. But just the knowing that there were other people that were looking up to me, that relied on me and was counting on me, I just didn't want to let those people down.
Give the girls some advice of how to stay focused. Like, it's a lot of things going on in Cincinnati where it's all these rankings and everything, and right. Some of the girls, kind of get down on themselves when they're not ranked. My thing is scholarships over rankings. Like, everybody is not going to get ranked, everybody is not going to get seen. So kind of give some nuggets to them young ladies to kind of keep them focused and keep pushing through.
Absolutely. Rankings are all opinion based. It's somebody's opinion. And you know, like just like it doesn't matter what other people think. As long as you believe in yourself and your abilities, that's all that matters. You know, if you're doing the things that are necessary to align yourself towards the glory that you're trying to get to, nobody or nothing can take that away from you. Yeah, it makes you feel good to be ranked. It makes you feel good to have that on your shoulders. But at the end of the day, those rankings mean absolutely nothing. And when you get those opportunities to play against those players that get those rankings, you got to show them who's better. You know, you always got to bring it. So I know it's hard because that's the day and age that we're in right now, where these kids really care about those things. But it's really not very important. What you do and how you do it is more important.
Right. So tell me, who is your biggest inspiration and how would you thank them?
My mother. Once again, I have to always give honor and glory to her as well, because, you know, without her is no me. And she's somebody that I've idolized and respected for so many years, just seeing how hard she worked to provide for 2 teenagers. And, you know, she's always been there. She's always been my rock, somebody that I can count on, somebody that I've always respected and wanted to protect and provide for. So she's definitely one of my biggest inspirations. And then if I could kind of segue, you know, Don Staley has always been a great mentor of mine, and somebody that, you know, recruited me throughout high school, and somebody that I can call on today and ask for advice and mentorship and guidance. And she's just been a blessing to my life. And there's countless others as well. You know, I could go on and on and on, but those are 2 names that I could throw out right now.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit. So with this being a new season, what are your goals and expectations for this season?
Growth, grit. You know, we want to play with a lot of grit. I want to see these young ladies develop and understand what it means to work for everything we get. Every day I'm challenging them. Every day we step foot in the gym. Every day we step foot in the study hall, in the weight room. Whatever we're doing, I'm challenging them to be their best, and whatever that looks like for them. Because every day we want to get 1% better. So we want to make the Princeton community proud. We want to make Cincinnati proud. You know, I want to make my former coaches proud. I've invited every one of them to my first home game. You know, I just want to pay homage to them. And, you know, I just believe in this program, and I believe in these young ladies.
When y'all step on the court this year, what do we expect to see on the basketball court?
It's going to be a high pace, high energy, up-tempo type of play. You know, full court pressure. We're after it defensively, and then we're going to take care of it on the offensive end, being aggressive, getting downhill. We're just trying to outwork everybody, every second, every game.
Give us some young ladies that the city should be on the lookout for this year.
Absolutely. I would say Soleil Williams, first and foremost, one of our juniors. Phenomenal talent. I think a lot of people will definitely learn who she is very soon. She missed last season, so she's playing with a chip on her shoulder right now to get that back. We got Lasagna Hill, a very nice young guard as well. She's also a junior. Slasher, good shooter, good defender. We got Dee Carter-Hartley inside, nice size, 6 foot post, also a junior. And we have a freshman that's a 6'1" post that I think is gonna get some playing time. Nice size, nice body, nice motor, great kid. But we have a team full of talented young ladies, and that's one thing that I've been very blessed to walk into in a situation like this, where I don't feel like I'm starting from ground zero. But at the same time, I'm coming in with a sense of we're going to work every single day. We're going to improve every single day. But those are some names that I would say off the top that are going to be names that you'll hear a lot of this season.
And with that being said, the talent level, how do you navigate coaching such a high talented level squad?
You know, there's no favorites. It's all work-based. You show and prove what you can do and what you can bring on a consistent basis. You earn those playing times from me. I don't care if you score 1 million points. I don't care any of that. You know, how you play within this sets, the system, how you are coachable, how you play within within the role that you have on this team. That's gonna earn them minutes. So, you know, it's easy to say, yeah, we have a lot of talent, but everybody can't play every secondary game. So we have to be able to, as a coaching staff, be able to navigate that area as best we can. And still stay fresh and all of that. Like eventually, I think we can be able to do some 5 in, 5 out type situations because we'll have that depth within our program. But right now, it's just every day they're challenging each other. I don't care what you did last year. I don't care what you did before that. I wasn't here. All I'm basing it off of is what you do on a day-to-day basis in the classroom, on the basketball court, you know, at home. I'm checking all of that because we want great young ladies in this program, and what you do is gonna depict what you do on the floor.
And speaking of that, for me, it's always high character kids. I want high character kids around me. So kind of touch on that too. Let the young ladies know, whoever watching this, like, talent is only gonna take you far, but it's about your character. So speak on that.
Absolutely. So character is huge. It's huge. For me, I just feel like these young ladies need to make sure that they're presenting themselves in a way that's gonna make a good example for, or represent their families, represent their coaching staffs and their schools in a positive light. You know, it doesn't take much to be a good person. Just do the right things all the time, even when you don't want to. You know, be respectful. It goes a long way. The impact that you leave off of the first introduction goes a long way, because you only get one chance to set a first impression. And, you know, how they are in the community, how they are in the building, how they are in the classrooms really matters to me, because it's a representation of myself and my coaching staff. And how we are, they know if that goes against what we're doing, they know that that's not Princeton, the Princeton way. So for me, I think character is huge. There are a lot of colleges out there that will not care about your skill level or your talent level if you're not a good person. If you don't make good choices, that's really going to affect what you do moving forward.
Yeah, so speaking of college, let's speak on that, because for some reason, young athletes think it's just so easy to get to that college level, but they don't understand the percentage basis of having a scholarship at a college. Speak on that.
It's only so many roster spots, and there's only so many scholarships available per roster. And with that being said, there are thousands and thousands of players that are chasing the same dreams. So putting yourself in a position to be in that number, in that small few, you have to do something extraordinary, right? You have to be able to be a great student in the classroom, because that's going to allow these schools to even look at you. The first thing they're going to ask you is to send a transcript, and you're tracked from your freshman year. So if you want to dog it in the classroom and get serious your junior year, what you did your freshman and sophomore year are all going to be seen on those transcripts. So being mature enough to be able to get that done, right? Behavior. Coaches will come and ask your guidance counselors and things like that, what you doing? What are you doing in the school? How is your character? What are you involved in? Are you multifaceted? Are you involved in student council, National Honor Society, things like that? Those things look great on college applications. You know, are you a multi-sport athlete? I think that's great if you can do that. That gives you different things to add to your bag. But ultimately, who you are off the floor affects a lot of what you do on the floor. And colleges are paying attention. Social media is a big place that they look at. A lot of people have missed out on opportunities based off of posts that they've made, tweets that they've reshared, pictures that they've posted, things of that nature. All of those things are being looked at a high level. If you think about it, these colleges are $40,000 plus a year that they're giving scholarships away. They're giving you $160,000 to come and play for them. Are they going to invest in you? Ask yourself, the last post you made, the last tweet you made, would you invest in you, right? So just being mindful of that, because people are always watching. If you're one of those kids that are a high caliber kid, people are watching you, and every move you make is being judged. So be mindful of that.
So what keeps you motivated every day? What when you get up out of the bed and touch your feet to that floor, like, what makes you motivated every day to come into Princeton and do what you do?
I have goals just like these kids have goals. You know, I'm first year head coach in my alma mater. That's a lot of pressure in itself. I want to come in. I don't want to let these kids down. I got to come in and be my best self every single day. It helps when you walk in the gym, you see your name hanging in the rafters. It doesn't stop there. I'm trying to put some state championship banners up here, some conference championship banners up here, so nobody's going to outwork me. I'm in the gym most mornings with these kids early in the morning and leaving late in the evening, because we want to put ourselves in positions to be successful. And I'm in the classrooms, I'm checking with principals, I'm checking with teachers, I'm doing all the little things, because I want our young ladies to understand what it means to be a student athlete. And if you just want to come and play for Princeton and just be an athlete, you won't get far. Yeah, so for my motivation, I want to come in every single day and make these kids better. I want to give them opportunities.
So let's take it all the way back and talk about where it all started for you. Like, what got you into the basketball game?
I started watching basketball when I was old enough to walk. As soon as I had a little ball in my hands, I never let it go. I was one that would watch something on television and go outside and try to do it myself. So I was a big, avid NBA watcher. I was watching back in the day, and one mixtapes. I was always trying to do the fancy handles and things like that. So it became something that I was very interested in. So I gravitated towards it. So everything I ever did, it was like I had to have a ball in my hand. I wanted to play basketball all the time. And once I started, when I moved here to Cincinnati, I was a ball girl for the University of Cincinnati. So I got to see those college athletes and see the way they played and the way they trained and how they were as college athletes and what that looked like. It was a good test for me to see, is this something that I want to do? And then I was just being more exposed to it. I started playing travel basketball, and I was playing with girls older than myself. And I started feeling like, oh, I think I might be pretty good at this thing, you know? And then from there, it just took off, and the love just grew and continued to grow. And, you know, now it's in a different form, but I'm still a part of the game, still around the game, and it's still a huge love of mine.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about, for girls, them quitting sports is at an alarming high rate. How can the young ladies pace themselves so they don't burn themselves out?
I got to be careful on that answer.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, it's starting at much younger ages nowadays because of something you said earlier about these rankings and things, you know. These young ladies are playing travel basketball at early ages that may not be necessarily the right fits for them or the right programs for them. So the skill development, I don't think, has been a huge focus in the game. So as they get older, people start surpassing them, and then they're like, well, I really don't like it that much. And then if you think about the time investment that you have to put into it, people don't want to spend that much time in the gym. They don't want to do what's necessary to go to the next level. It sounds good. You know, I want to be a college athlete, but all that goes into that is extremely tough. That's why the percentages are so small, right? So for me, I think that a lot of these young ladies are losing focus or losing that desire to play because of the demand, because of how rigorous it is. You know, the training that goes into it, the skill development that goes into it, the countless hours of film and studying the game. It's a lot. It's a big commitment, and everybody's not willing to do that.
Yeah. So as we end this session, if you can give maybe one or two things to leave the young ladies with, what would it be?
Understand what you want and who you are and who you're wanting to be. You know, people might see something in you and push you towards that, but if that's not what you want to do or nothing that you really feel is for you, you don't feel obligated to do it. That's how people give up too. I got pushed at a young age to do something I didn't want to do, right? Find that passion, try everything, figure out what you like and what you enjoy, and then, you know, love the process, enjoy the journey. You know, when we get too serious too soon, that burnout does happen and people don't necessarily want to continue with it. But find things, the why that you're doing it, what you're doing, and figure out if that's something that is aligning you towards your future. You know, ask yourself, everything that you do, is this setting me up for success later on down the line in life? You know, so I would just be mindful of always just thinking before you act, and always remember you have complete control of your choices, but you don't of your consequences. So you have to be mindful of what you do, what you say, and how you do it.
Right. That's a nugget right there. So for the people that don't know, where can they follow you all on social media?
Princeton, we have an Instagram at Lady Vike Hoops. It's buzzing right now, so make sure y'all follow us. We like to show the journey of what we're doing within the program this year, and I think it's going to be a great year for us.
All right. There you have it. Beyond the Hardwood with Coach Nay. Over here at Princeton with Coach Dee Davis. Make sure y'all come check them out this season. Appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate you. Go Vikes.
Yes, yes.